Hello and welcome back to the Spanish campaign. We are currently besieging Alesia, the last city of the Gauls, and we are on the verge of knocking them completely out of the game. Inside the city, there are some really scary troops. The faction leaders here with 86 heavy cavalry, there's 136 chosen swordsmen with a whole lot of experience, armor, and upgraded weapons, and there's a strong unit of Forester warband, small but strong. And the army that I've brought to Alesia is looking a little bit weak. We have 3 full units of long shield cavalry, 2 battered units, 1 unit of war elephants. Oh, I love Norbert the elephant. He's so good. And, of course, Kerbassi the Conqueror. And the thing that I've been grappling with taking Alesia is that there's a unit of Forester warband, and they're just going to fire arrows at Norbert. So beyond knocking down the gate, I can't really use my elephants in the city. So I'm going to be left to using just 3 units of long shield cavalry and Kerbassi the Conqueror. And I'm just not certain that I can win that fight because the Forester warband is going to just kill Norbert. So I've come up with kind of a silly plan, and that is to use barbarian mercenaries as just a distraction. They're just going to eat a whole bunch of arrows from the Forester warband. And once they've used almost all of their arrows, we can just send Norbert in to clean up the whole city. So that's what we're going to do at Alesia. We'll attack them next turn. And the question then becomes, after Kerbassi knocks the Gauls out of the game and takes Alesia, what are we going to do next? And my plan has been to attack the Britons this whole time, and I'm definitely going to do that. Because they're relatively weak. They have Lugdunum, which is nice and exposed down here, and then they have just 5 other regions, and I believe other than that, they don't have anything. So they're an easy target. We'll definitely want to fight them next. But I just don't think this army is strong enough to take out the entire Briton faction, and we can't train any new troops in Condate Redonum, Lemanum, Narbomardius, or Massilia because they're all tiny, dinky little settlements with no population and no way to train anything because the Gauls absolutely ruined their cities by just spamming warband. So what I've decided to do is I'm just going to train up a reinforcing army of a whole bunch of long shield cavalry in Italy. There we go. We have 3 units being trained in each of the 5 cities in northern Italy, so a total of 15 units of long shield cavalry over the next 3 turns. And I'm just going to make a mega army and send it north to meet up with Kerbassi the Conqueror at Lugdunum, and that will be his new campaigning army, which he will use to destroy the Britons and probably eventually the Germans. Meanwhile, we are also besieging Cirta, and this will be a very easy battle next turn. There are 130 heavy cavalry here, which is kind of scary. But other than that, I mean, we massively outnumber them. We have heavy infantry. We have 4 generals. So yeah, we should easily be able to take Cirta. Also, the other main event on the campaign map right now is down in Greece. We're fighting the Brutii. We managed to take Thurman off of them. But unfortunately, they were able to kill Briganticus of Megaravicum, I think his name is. A really good general took Thurman and was going to become the conqueror of all of Greece. We lost him. So now we just have no general in all of Greece, which is really scary. Apollonia is absolutely surrounded by armies, so they're probably going to try to take that next. And Thurman is feeling very exposed now that we don't have a general here. So my plan for replacing the general in Greece is obviously going to be Arganthonius the Lurgites. He's actually pretty decent. He has famous warrior for +1 morale, 3 command stars, 1 wreath of influence, so he's alright. For a 33-year-old, I think he could get really good. So we're just going to use our remnants of our Spanish armada. It's looking a little bit battered, but we're going to bring him over to Greece. He can start thinking about taking Corinth, Larissa, Athens, Sparta, etc. We definitely want to kick the Brutii out of Greece as quickly as possible. And we also have 2 generals sitting in Carthage and 4 generals besieging Cirta right now, which is absolutely ridiculous given that we have no generals in all of Gaul, Italy, and Greece. So we're also training up another Spanish armada in Carthage, Thapsus, Lilybaeum, Syracuse, etc., which will carry our generals to a better distribution across the empire. So I'll build 3 units of large boats in Thapsus. We're already building boats in Carthage, but that port is being besieged. In Syracuse, we will build 3 units of large boats as well, and that should be enough to put together a nice armada to carry those generals around. We'll go ahead and end the turn and see what happens between turns. The main thing I'm expecting is for Apollonia to be besieged and potentially for Thurman to be besieged, so let's hope not. Our armada is being attacked by what looks like a quinquereme. No, it's 2 triremes, so I think we can handle that. Oh, crushing defeat. We lost almost our entire armada here. And yeah, we'll probably lose the rest right now. So that absolutely throws a screw in my plan to bring a general over to Greece. And over at Cirta, I'm being attacked by some Carthaginians. We have Hiram and Milcarem in Cirta itself, and the reinforcements commanded by Captain Mutinies. They look decent. There's some decent spearmen here, some high experience Iberians, that kind of stuff. But I don't know where all their elephants are. I mean, I guess they committed them all to trying to take back Tingi earlier, but if they brought elephants to this field battle, they definitely would have won it. They probably are not going to win this fight, so I guess we still have to beat them, but yeah, I don't feel great about their chances here. So we have our enormous blob of cavalry, which we will be using for the majority of this battle. But I do want to hold my generals on reserve, not necessarily use them as shock troops at first, because we have so much light cavalry, which we can use first. But I will go ahead and group up my light cavalry so I can use them very liberally in this battle. And we have our front line of heavy infantry. We have bull warriors, scutarii, and then of course the Balearic slingers behind them, which I will move actually in front because I don't want the Balearic slingers shooting our bull warriors in the back. And let's take a look at how everyone draws up in this battle. Perfect. So we should be easily able to pick off the reinforcements who are coming from the city. We'll build a little bit of a dugout for our slingers, put some heavy infantry on either side, and then we'll put heavy infantry right behind them as well, so when they skirmish, they can just withdraw into heavy infantry. And I'll have all of my heavy infantry have fire at will enabled, and the Balearic slingers have fire at will and skirmish enabled. Now I'm going to take my light cavalry and just bring them over to have a peek at the reinforcements. Obviously there are several generals units here, so we have to be somewhat worried about that. I'll also bring Gurguri the Conqueror, Gurguri the First, with his huge unit of heavy cavalry, and he'll provide moral support for the light cavalry as they fight some generals units. Now over here at the actual battlefield, yeah, they're already breaking. These round shields were immediately broken by my slingers. Let's fire into these Libyan spearmen, town militia, that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is not going well for them. They're taking a lot of casualties. Over on the cavalry front, let's send our Numidian mercenaries to just skirmish with ideally this huge unit of generals armored bodyguard. I would like to surround these units somewhat with my light cavalry because I have so much of it. So let's pull around the flanks. Meanwhile, my scutarii are throwing off all their javelins, so I'm sure the fighting has officially started over here. Nope, just firing into these units. They haven't actually managed to make contact. I'm going to charge into them with my generals, and then I will pull them out because I don't want them to get killed by the Poinies. Perfect, alright. I'm going to have my generals pull out over here, and let's check on my Numidians. They routed, so they must have made contact with the generals unit. Let's go ahead and bring up Gurguri the Conqueror for moral support, and I'll just have all of my cavalry collapse on this general's bodyguard. Make sure no one breaks over here. Everyone's still eager, so that's good. Over here, we're fighting some long shield cavalry, but we do outnumber them. Over here, this is probably going to be an issue because we're fighting a general's unit with just one unit of long shields. But if we can deal with this general's unit over here, that should be the main general for the army, and they'll have morale issues after that. I'm going to go ahead and use rally troops with Gurguri the Conqueror, and let's get them involved in the fighting because we outnumber them so much. Perfect. We've run him down, killed that general, so that's all done. Now, let's have everyone go fight this general's armored bodyguard. This is the last bit of strength from the city. I'll have Gurguri kind of walk it, because I don't actually want him fighting. But let's check on our infantry. Yeah, it's going really well over here. Looks like most of the army is battered and broken. I can use my generals a little more aggressively now. So I'll bring my 3 generals over here. And let's check on what's happening in this corner. Wow, this general's bodyguard is just getting pushed into a corner and slaughtered. We have 1 break here, unfortunately, so let me get Gurguri over here. Okay, yep, that fighting is done. Let's use our cavalry in the main battle, and we'll get Gregory back over here to help out with this army. But yeah, our slingers are just still firing. They've probably killed several hundred Carthaginians based on how many casualties are over here. And they do have a strong unit of Libyan spearmen, which is what I'm mainly worried about. Let's send our bull warriors and scutarii into them and kind of reinforce with these generals units, but we don't want them to be directly involved in fighting the Libyans because we don't want to lose any generals. They are shaken, wavering. All right, let's charge in because I don't believe we're going to lose a general here. Yep, they broke immediately. And let's run down these slingers with this general's unit. Over here we have just some basic town militia, so I can use any cavalry to deal with them. Yeah, Gregory can deal with this town militia. And there's really no strength left in this army. Should be nice and quick. And we rain down their other general or commander, I believe, just for this army. And yep, the town militia broke immediately. So nice quick battle, no big casualties. We actually managed to kill 2 generals in that battle, which is very good. So we lost about 200 troops, but mostly long-shield cavalry. That's understandable. And now we take Cirta for ourselves. Cirta's going to rebel if we just occupy it, and if we enslave it, I don't really know where that population's going to go, so let's go ahead and exterminate this city. At some point, we need to get a general in all of these little cities, so when we enslave a population, the little cities get a big population boost. But in this case, we'll just exterminate. Makes it easier to control Cirta. And let's take a look at Cirta, our new conquest. Looks good, honestly. I'll go ahead and retrain this army, and we'll build some more long shields. And then I'm going to go ahead and send Dunoro of Segrebriga and Palban the Cruel over to Carthage. They're also going to be sent to Italy, Gaul, Greece, those kind of regions once this little armada is completed. So we'll reunite them with Carthage. Take a look at our end of turn report. It's so nice to see profits of 32,000 every turn. I'm very happy about that. And Dunoro of Segrebriga has gotten married to a lady named Kainia, so congratulations to him. Fortunately, he is celebrating in the middle of the desert, but he also just picked up the trait Wife Above Reproach for +1 influence, so that's fantastic. In Thapsus, we got communal farming, and we don't want to build the tavern here because we don't like taverns anymore. In Apollonia, we have our Sacred Grove of Abnoba, and we'll go straight for level 3 with the Sacred Circle of Abnoba for missile weapons +3. I'm really excited for that. And we can go ahead and actually retrain all of these troops, make them a little better at defending the city in case the Brutii ever attack. At Thurman, we have our Shrine to Isis level 1, and we'll go straight to level 2 with that and go ahead and retrain whoever we didn't get last turn. And let's go ahead and build one more unit of... Let's go with Long Shield Cavalry. We also need heavy infantry, but we mainly need Long Shield Cavalry for fighting the battles in the field, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of those coming up. Now, in Kydonia, I was building Round Shield Cavalry, but I'm just going to have to build a whole bunch of large boats here because we lost our beautiful armada. It was destroyed by the Brutii last turn, unfortunately. We're having some public order issues in Tarentum and Croton, and unfortunately that's mostly due to a 45% culture penalty, but we can't really do anything about that because we will never be able to make this a barbarian city. So we'll just build some more peasants, and then we'll bring down the population a little bit by building some long shields to send over to Greece. And maybe some scutarii. Same thing in Croton, we will build some long shields and some scutarii. I do love seeing the trade routes between all of these cities. That is so much trade. We've definitely made our economy so much better in the last few turns. Yeah, trade of 32,000 denarii per turn. Probably most of it is coming from right here. And let's go ahead and take a swing at Alesia. I'm going to purchase another unit of barbarian mercenaries, and I don't want to starve them out. I want to have a proper battle against the Gauls. So let's go ahead and attack them. We'll use our barbarian mercenaries as bait, and I think we can handle them. So we'll start off with Norbert the Elephant. He can go ahead and attack the reinforced gates. And actually looks like their Forester Warband is already right here. So let's go ahead and send our barbarian mercenaries out here to be kind of target practice for the Foresters. And if we could get them to fire at the barbarian mercenaries, we could maybe use our mercenary war elephants as missile troops to attack the foresters. So let's see what they do here. I'll keep my elephants somewhat nearby. They haven't started firing yet. I'm just getting shot by a tower right now, so I'll back up a little bit. Back up a little more. Are they firing yet? No, they don't want to fire, so maybe they're holding their ammo for Norbert. Hopefully they're not that smart. I'm going to try to knock down the gate with Norbert. Let's just attack the reinforced gates, and fire at will is enabled for him, so if we get a shot on the foresters, they'll fire at them. And the gate's nearly knocked down. I'm going to pull up some cavalry to run through the front gate and try and hunt down these foresters as soon as the gate is open. Alright, the gate is open. I'm going to slow this down just a little bit. And let's send in the cavalry to attack. First off, the skirmisher warband. I'm going to get my general nearby to provide moral support. But they are still eager. They should easily beat these forester or skirmisher warband here. They're wavering. They'll break any moment. Perfect. Broken. Run them down real quick. And that's one of like 6 units in the city. So let's immediately go run down the foresters. Once the foresters are out of the way, the elephants can run amok. Not actually, but can have fun in the city and kill the rest of the army. So as we charge in here, the foresters, they will do good damage against my cavalry, but they're so outnumbered, I don't think they can win this. But yeah, they're there with their little spears, so they are doing good damage against my cavalry. Look at that. That's brutal. They're still eager, which is just wild. But they're getting slowly chopped down, so hopefully they'll break relatively soon, and we can finish them off. Wavering, just 8 of them left. Perfect. We can go ahead and bring in our elephants. All right, we've run them down. So let's get our cavalry fully inside the city, and then we'll bring in our elephants. And it looks like they might charge in with their warlord, which would not be ideal, but we can handle it if he does charge in. All right, let's go ahead and get my elephants inside the city. And the cavalry can hopefully kind of wiggle around Norbert over here. There you go. Get inside the city. And I believe that's all of their missile troops. Let me take a look. Oh, they have one more unit of skirmisher warband, so I have to be a little bit careful using Norbert until those skirmishers are dead. We don't want to lose any elephants. But I'm really excited to attack these, chosen swordsmen, the general's unit, that kind of stuff with Norbert. He will rip through them so quickly. I'm going to go ahead and send my cavalry to deal with these skirmishers. They're kind of exposed at the front of the pack, so I may as well send them in. And as long as the general doesn't charge in, this should be a relatively easy unit to break. But the general's right there, so hopefully we don't lose any cavalry here. Eager, steady. Still steady. There we go. Shaken, wavering. Okay, they'll break any moment. And yeah, we're just running them down. Beautiful. And the unit's broken. Let's see how many kills we can get on them before they get back to their general. All right. That's plenty. Enough that we can use Norbert the elephant now. Beautiful. We'll back up a little bit with our cavalry. And how's Norbert doing? Are you in the city yet? Okay, you're in the city. Let's go over here, and we're going to start preparing to use him in the final battle again. So let's see what's left. We have 87 heavy cavalry from the warlord. We have, I think, 140 chosen swordsmen and some noble cavalry. So it is a decent force in here. Not nothing, but I think Norbert can handle them. As far as cavalry, we have 4 units. They're pretty battered, but we will bring them in. We'll probably end up using them in this fight. But let's get our cavalry off to the side a little bit so they don't block the way for Norbert. And we'll bring them in to assist him once he pushes through. We want at least one good charge to the plaza, so let's get Norbert up here. Put him right here for now, because if he can get at least some arrows in while everyone gets ready for the charge, that would be ideal. Speed this up a little bit. And I wonder if they're going to charge at him or what their plan is going to be here. He doesn't quite have range with his archers. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer and get in range. I'm going to bring up my cavalry and my general to at least here. Just, there we go. Yeah, we want to have them on hand in case we need them. And let's bring Norbert to right here if we can do it. He's so big, it's kind of hard to maneuver. There we go. Perfect. Bring him up here, and he'll start shooting any moment. As soon as he's in range with his archers, I'll actually have him stop moving and just see how many kills we can get. We definitely don't want to be fighting on the city center with Norbert the Elephant. We would like them to come off the city center and fight us over here so that they have the issues with morale and have the chance to break. So he's in range with his archers now. We'll get some shots in. They're not going to do a lot of damage, but it'll help soften them up a little bit. And it will pull them off the plaza. So this warlord, yeah, I don't fancy their chances. Even though there are 87 of them, it's a very tough unit. But yeah, we're just going to run through and just charge directly onto the plaza, actually. That's what I'm going to tell them to do. Charge onto the plaza, and we'll just run down the warlord's cavalry here. Now let's send in the units of long shield cavalry to help out with fighting this warlord, and we'll bring up my general for moral support, and we're just going to have the elephants charge all the way through, and then we're going to have the elephants charge all the way back through the other way. So I'm going to redirect them. They're not actually going to go to the city center. We're just going to charge back and forth through this little unit. They're down to 79 already. Yeah, they're falling fast. We are losing a few elephants, which is a shame, but it has to happen eventually. There is no real good way to kill this much heavy cavalry, so it's going to happen. But hopefully the cavalry will take over here, and we'll stop losing elephants. Oh no, we lost so many, but we still have 50. It's all right. All right, let's make sure my general's nearby enough that we can provide moral support. What's broken here? Yep, their general's broken. They're down to 12. So yeah, this is going really well. Can we get any more kills on him before he reaches the city center? No, probably not. Let's pull back a little bit with our cavalry. We want to regroup and use our general's aura of morale. Are they charging in again? Yep, they've reformed and they're charging in again. I'm happy to kill the last 12 of this unit of Warlord's Cavalry, and they'll break here pretty soon. Shaken, wavering, and the actual general will probably die this time once they break. So the Chosen Swordsman just used War Cry, and that will last for 30 seconds. It will give them 10 bonus attack. I'm just going to wait 30 seconds, because then they'll be a lot easier to kill. And then they can't use War Cry. So that's the problem with War Cry. You can just avoid it. Now I hope that we have enough strength here. These are pretty battered units of Longshield Cavalry. Hopefully they can handle this big block of Chosen Swordsmen. But yeah, we're going to try it. Now they are fresh and my troops are tired and winded, so I'm just going to wait a second. I don't want to charge in at a disadvantage. Everyone's back down to fresh. This unit's still winded, but they're not going to be the first to charge in anyway, so we'll let them rest a little more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this unit of 94 cavalry, and I want them to kind of... Can we encircle them? Yeah, let's hit them from behind. So I'm going to actually send the 2 weaker units of cavalry around the city. We're just going to send them this way. And we'll have them hit the Chosen Swordsman from the back, because we don't want to have an issue where like we're just attacking from one side. We're not doing that much damage to them because we don't have contact with that many of their troops, and it takes forever to fight them. So we'll get our cavalry all the way over here. And from the other side, let's encircle them with my general's unit. So we'll have my general's heavy cavalry go around the city this way, get over here, and he'll attack from this direction. No, not that way. No, he's so stupid. Okay, let's see what happens here. We lost a couple heavy cavalry. You're so stupid. Go this way. Go this way. Oh my goodness. All right. We'll use him a little less for the rest of the battle because he's not the best decision maker. All right. Drop right here. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I don't want to have them charge off the plaza and break one of my units, so. All right, we have our 2 units in position over here. My general's in position over here. We have 1 unit over here, but it's my strongest unit, and then my weakest unit's here too. So we're going to charge in first from the side. We want to push them off the plaza if possible. So we'll charge in with my general into these barbarian nobles. And then we will charge in from the front with these strongest units here. And I'll slow down the really weak unit here. All right, let's check on our morale. Eager so far. How are we doing over here? Are we breaking this noble cavalry? I think noble cavalry's dead already. How's morale for everyone? We're pretty eager. Let's not have my actual general do any fighting. We're just going to use rally troops when we need to, and our long shields will run down the chosen swordsman here. So we'll use rally troops now because we have 1 unit that's kind of weak. And then I'm going to pull my general back. I just don't even want to risk losing him. It's not worth it. We need him for the rest of this campaign. And yeah, they are so tough, these chosen swordsmen. Let's just hope we can handle them. Yeah, we're getting absolutely slaughtered here. How many are left? 24. But they are slaughtering us. Let's hope we don't get a break. I'm very proud of my long shields. They're fighting valiantly even though they're taking huge casualties. At what point do I need to withdraw these really weak units? Yeah, they're not breaking, so. Good job, guys. How much is left in this unit? Nothing. Perfect. Well done, long shields. So we lost 300 troops, and unfortunately, 15 of those were Norbert's elephants, and they weren't healed. So yeah, that's a shame. Very unfortunate, but 50 elephants is still very good. And with that, we have conquered the Gauls. And they're gone! Fantastic, that's so exciting. I so want to occupy this settlement because I need population up here. Alright, what can we do here? I wish I knew exactly what the population was in Alesia, because we occupy it, and then we just... I'm going to occupy it. I know that's kind of crazy, but if I can have a population center in Alesia, even if it's going to be hard to hold on to it, it would be so useful for fighting the Britons to have the ability to train cavalry here, train Scutarii. I think it's worth it. We're going to occupy Alesia. Let's see how bad the public order is. Oh gosh. 65%. Okay, I can work with that. We'll go ahead and repair our archery range and High King's Hall. And we'll go ahead and repair our units of long shield cavalry. And so we actually will get those up to full strength. Then what's our public order at? 65%. Let's build some long shields, some Scutarii. Is that enough for public order to be okay? I think 70% we won't rebel. But yeah, that's kind of scary. We have a Sacred Circle of Epona here, actually. So we're going to get experience bonus for anyone who doesn't have experience bonuses. So that's a good thing to have. I never invested in that, but that's great. The only thing I'm concerned about with the Sacred Circle of Epona is the reason I never built it is that I heard there are issues with the game crashing if you have Sacred Circle of Epona. And I don't know if that's because at level 4 and 5 it breaks the game because it's not meant to be possible. Or if even level 3 will cause issues. So we're not going to demolish it immediately. We're going to retrain our whole army. But at some point we might knock that building down just because we don't want to have any issues with the game breaking. And yes, I'm so happy we finally destroyed the Gauls. Beautiful. Bye-bye. And there aren't any mercenaries available in Alesia, so we're just going to have to trust that 70% public order is enough here. I think we'll be fine, though, because we'll have more troops next turn. And yeah, I think it'll be fine. Last thing to do this turn is we'll check on our army that we're sending over from Spain to help out with the Carthaginians. Fly some Balearic slingers, and we'll send Bela the Allergites south to meet up with Captain Ager. Let's see what kind of strength we can give him. So 2 more units of Scutarii, that's good. And I think we have some long shields that we can send over. Yes, we have a long shield unit here. And we'll send over some long shields from Carthaginova for next turn. And that's a decent base for an army. And then what could we take from Tingi? We could take maybe just some Scutarii, and that's it. So it's not going to be the best army, but it might be enough to take out Dimity or Nept. So yeah, we'll see. And there's nothing else to do this turn. At some point, I would like to speak to the Germans again about an alliance, but I feel like they will be more receptive once we are at war with Britons, because they're also at war with the Britons. And I don't want to declare war on the Britons just yet. So we will hold off on that. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, all of our ports are constantly besieged, which is very annoying. We have a suitable husband. He looks okay. Xanti the Carpetani. That's a nice name. He's a superior commander. H35. He's all right. I'll take him. And where is he? Syracuse. Interesting. That's actually not a bad placement for him. We can send him over to help out in Greece, probably. Let's see how old Zygor of Castillo is. Oh, he's too old to send over. Yeah, we could put together a little bit of an army here from what we have in Syracuse and send them over to Greece. So we'll combine these bull warriors, get some of these gold chevron slingers with missile attack of 8, and get some cavalry and these gold Balearic slingers. And then we'll get these 2 generals and these hoplites and these bull warriors. And let's see how much we need to leave in Syracuse for them to not freak out. They're not super happy, but we'll just build some peasants here and they'll be fine. We can also buy Balearic slingers and mercenary hoplites, which I will absolutely do. And let's see what this army looks like. It looks decent. So we will use them and the generals that we have over at Carthage already. And let's check on our little navy that we've been building. Actually looks pretty good. We'll fight off this little Carthaginian navy, and we will go ahead and repair those ships that we just damaged. And then next turn, we can send over all of our generals to, well, let's see if we can do it now. Yep, we can send over all of our generals onto this ship, and we will reunite with some more ships that we've been training, and we'll just send them over to drop off some generals in Greece. Congratulations to Xanti the Carpetani, welcome to the family. And we have so many things built and repaired. In Narbomardius, we have communal farming, so the population growth rate will go up a little bit. Yeah, 5%, that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and build level 2 Sacred Grove of Isis here for Naked Fanatics, and at level 3 we can build Bull Warriors. In Massilia, we have our port. Finally, looks so good to have 334 trade there. And I'm going to go ahead and build communal farming here as well. Our population growth rate is decent at 5.5%, but we want to get that as high as possible because the population is really small in Massilia. At Lepkus Magna, we finally have our Hall of Heroes, so we can train some Scutarii here, which we probably will do. We want some low upkeep, strong troops in case the Egyptians ever attack Lepkus Magna. And we'll go ahead and build communal farming here as well. We want that population growing as much as possible in case we need to field an army from here eventually. In Cirta, we repaired everything, and there's nothing new we want to build, really. We could knock down this awesome temple of Milcart and replace it with some Spanish religion, but for now, we'll just leave it. Let's see what kind of an army we can muster from Cirta. So if I take all these troops except 1 unit of Scutarii, obviously, they're not super happy with me. We'll leave behind some Libyan mercenaries, bring down the tax rate, and they're happy enough with that. So it's not perfect, but it works for now. We'll build some skirmishers to man the walls and some warhounds because they're super low upkeep at 50 per turn. And I think we can send Gurguri's army to conquer Dimity next. That's our new capital. We'll take that next, and then we'll march south and pick up Nept. And wow, just now Gurguri the Conqueror got a mercenary captain for another 1 command and 2% bonus to cash gained from looting, which is actually great for him because he does a lot of looting. So yeah, he is such a good general. It's so funny with the Dacian campaign. This would not be a good general whatsoever. Already Skyly's my factionaire is like way better than this, and it's the start of the game, but for Spain, this is a great general. And actually, we got a Seamaster on my Admiral over at Kydonia, which actually that looks like a really good piece of retinue. I don't usually pay attention to Admiral's retinue, but this guy could be a good Admiral eventually if we give him a good fleet. We have a new general coming of age at Osca, who has Reverent for +1 morale, but not much other than that except Fruitful. So yeah, he's going to have a lot of kids. Oros, he's an interesting fellow. We might send Oros up to do a little bit of fighting in Gaul against the... I guess we shouldn't call it Gaul anymore. It's not Gaul anymore. Gaul is gone. But in northern Spain against the Britons. So let's give him a little bit of an army. We'll get him out of the city so he doesn't pick up any bad traits from being around the Bardic Circle. And by the way, we're not building anything here. Let's build a weaponsmith in Osca. May as well. And we'll build some long shield cavalry. Let's give him a little bit of an army. We'll give him these scutarii, these long shields. And is that a good army? Not really. But it can reunite with the troops up in Narbonadius, and that actually will be a decent army. And we have a few decent retinue on Etor, this kind of drunken guy hanging out in Osca. So I'll go ahead and drag over a famous warrior for +1 command, +1 morale, a bard for +1 influence, shield bearer for +1 valor, and then we'll send Etor back to sitting in Osca for the rest of his days. And let's go ahead and march north with this army. I wonder if we'll ever see that Gallic army that was over here that probably has turned rebel at this point. It definitely has, if it still exists. Can we reach this army with our cavalry? Yes, we can, actually. So let's go ahead and do that. And how is Aros' army looking? Honestly, not bad. Could send over some infantry, but we might leave some infantry in Narbonadius in case we're attacked by the Britons. I think that's a decent idea. Taking a look at our end of turn report. Definitely did not make as much this turn. We profited 1,200, which is not bad because we spent a whole lot on recruitment, army upkeep, construction. We are investing a lot of money right now, so not a horrible result. This is just the notifications of retinue moving around for our new General Oros, and now he looks a little bit better. He has, I think, +2 morale already from the famous warrior and Reverent, so he's not bad. He could be a good general once he's a little older. And yes, unfortunately, Thurman has been besieged by the Brutii. I was hoping Apollonia would be besieged because it's a nice defensive force. Thurman, not so much. They have some really scary troops here. Praetorians, legionaries, and they brought onagers. So hopefully they attack soon. I think I can defend this relatively well. But yeah, I'm scared if they just starve me out a little bit. I'm not sure how I can hold on to Thurman. I wish I could just reach Thurman from Kydonia, but I definitely can't. I'm tempted to take Arganthonius the Allergites, grab some Cretans, just put together a little bit of a ragtag army, and just send them over to outside of Sparta or Corinth and just kind of divert their attention a little bit south. See if they leave me alone. We'll just put together the best army I can. What else can we spare? We'll take some Balearic slingers and a unit of round shields. And that's all we can spare in Kydonia. They're already not happy with me. But we will build another large boat and a unit of peasants. There we go. They're all right with that. I think that's a good place to end this part. Keeping these episodes nice and short. And you'll also notice I didn't do a intro clip at the start of this video just because it's a really busy week for me. And those clips take some time to put together. So I want to make sure I'm putting out good content for you. So sometimes the length is going to be a little shorter or the little features are going to be a little different. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's so weird switching back and forth between the Spanish and the Dacian campaign now because they're so different. I'm really glad I picked the Dacian campaign for my next one because they're exact opposite campaigns, it feels like. But yeah, I'm so excited to conquer Greece from the Brutii and push them north into the steppe. They can deal with the bad economy of the Dacian territory. And we're so close to knocking out the Carthaginians, just 2 more little settlements. And then we get to turn our attention to the Britons and their chariots and their head hurlers and their chosen swordsmen. And yeah, that's going to be a whole thing. It looks like they have some really good generals as well. So A little scared of that, but that'll be a fun challenge. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.